I was just thinking about the technical things about it. It's funny, everybody has different associations when they watch a movie scene. And then if you've been in it and you remember the crew, you remember if you were sick or not that day. I don't know. I didn't have any one clear through line about it. You probably have a better objective view of it. Oh, one thing I wanted to say, by the way, that I didn't realize that it was sponsored by this, I don't know, showing the movie, or the tribute was sponsored by the Danish embassy. Pretty impressive. So I would like to say, jeg må sige tak til ambassadøren, han er nok ikke her, og til hendes majestæt, dronning. Thanks to the ambassador, I'm sure he's not here. And to the Queen.
So if we were in Denmark, would there be Viggos all over the place?
I mean, in my generation, it's cyclical, just like the names in English. But when I was born, it was my dad's name and it was the middle name of my grandfather. Every generation in my family has that name. It's a very old name that appears in the sagas, 1,000 years ago. But when I was born, it was kind of an odd name. It'd be like being called Oscar or Oswald, or it was weird. It was a big name in the 20s and 30s, but when I was born in the late 50s, not so much. Now, the kids that were born in, say, in the 80s, and now it's more common again. So, but it's, with people my age, it was kind of weird.
How did it play in Argentina in the 60s when we were growing up?
They just thought it was Italian. Sometimes they call me Viggo, sometimes they call me Guido.
So you're seeing Zhivago and Lawrence of Arabia, and what's the moment when you first step on stage? What's the first time you were in a costume, you stepped on stage?
I was about 7 years old, 8 years old, and I played the ass end of a dragon in a school play just before the Christmas break about St. George killing the dragon. And the kid that had the head who was in front of me, had gray socks on and a gray dragon thing over us, and he was the head, so he got to see where he was going and steer us. And he was a year older, so I had to take the bag and just roar kill about George. That was, and then I try the idea, because I had a lot of friends that I thought it was amazing that they did these musicals and things in junior high once we moved to the U.S. And I thought to try out, I don't know what they were doing, Hello Dolly or something. But you had to go up, they had to see if you could do anything. So you had to just read something. And they handed me David Copperfield's art, and I started reading the best of times, the worst of times at first, the opening part. But they couldn't hear me. And they were saying, speak up. And every time they said it, I got more scared and probably quieter. And then the third time they said, speak up, I just closed the book and quickly ran off stage. It's like, this is good, this is terrifying. And then I never really, then I went to Denmark and lived there a few years and worked. And I started seeing a lot of movies in Europe that growing up I had no idea about. Carl Dreyer movies, Ingmar Bergman, Visconti, Bresson, a lot of Japanese, Ozu movies, and just a world of filmmaking, of storytelling that amazed me. And at some point I started wondering, not just, or thinking, well, it's good or it's not good, or it's a good adaptation of the novel, or what have you, or not. But how do we do it? Because there were certain things, certain performances, say Maria Falconetti in The Passion, Joan of Arc, or Chris Walken in The Deer Hunter at the time that came out. Meryl Streep in the beginning of her career, And then when I decided to take the plunge and try it, just like a Lang in France, it's just things that really got to you. Or Autumn Sonata, I remember seeing the woman with Bergman. It seemed so real on an emotional level. How do they make you feel that? How does it seem so? What's the trick? So I was curious. I went to started studying acting in New York with someone named Warren Robertson. He encouraged me, and everybody needs that. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have stuck with it. However crude what I was doing was in his scene study class in New York, he encouraged me to keep at it, So.